Okay, booty, 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 rocking everywhere. All right, Mindset Monday time? Yeah? All right, now let's all post cute heart emotes. Cute heart emotes. Something different. How about that? Nope, we're still on butts. All right. We're in like all over the place chat mode today. So, Mindset Monday, we're talking about why progress beats perfection. Has anyone in chat avoided starting something because you want it to be perfect? I know that is something that I definitely struggle with. I am a perfectionist and I will not do things unless I'm like, oh, I want this to be perfect. Or I will start it and I will continue to work on it and keep working on it. And then it will never be done ever because it's not perfect, you know? Icky, yeah, you do that. You too, Warhammer. Your leather book, yes. What a segue to the painting. Honestly, Ram, good point. This, I started it. It's been 5 weeks, and there's so many little things that bug me on it, and I've just not looked at it. I've been like, you know what? I'm just not. It's fine if I don't look at it. We're working on it forever. But today we're talking about why progress beats perfection. So I do think that's something that a lot of us do. This is kind of like your friendly little nudge for focusing on why progress is better than perfection. I've got a couple tips for you. So things like focusing on being more consistent and just making incremental improvements and taking any action towards a goal, far more beneficial than getting caught up in striving for something that feels kind of unattainable. Cannot talk. The definition, nothing is ever perfect. 9 times. God, my brain is just so speaking even. I was going to say 9 times out of 10, I say something is a 9 out of 10 because nothing is ever perfect. You can always have a little bit more room for improvement. And I can't believe I even tried to say it that way. Progress is something that is actually attainable. It is something that is hopeful rather than it feeling like something that is unattainable, like perfection. So I wrote down some tips. So my first one, the biggest thing is a lot of this perfection mentality comes from comparing yourself to everything / other people. Because at least for me, as a content creator, I will see content out there that it's just, chef's kiss, like this person did this amazingly, or they're so funny, or they posted this amazing picture, or this video, the lighting was perfect, and there's no way I will ever make content that is that good. And I think what happens is there's that saying of like, don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle or end or whatever. We tend to notice when people have achieved some kind of success, and very often, like you don't really notice beginners. And so often we're afraid of just starting something because we see what everyone's success looks like. And if you are constantly comparing yourself to such a high bar or to such a high level of perfection, the means to get there will feel impossible. So really it is about removing that kind of comparison mentality. I used to scroll on TikTok to look for ideas of things of what to post, but then I would see posts that were so much better than mine that I wouldn't want to post. So I've stopped looking at socials for ideas and just being like, I'm just going to post content and see what happens. For me, the videos that I spend more time working on usually do worse. Whereas if I'm just doing something like off the rip or really quickly, or just I was like, oh, this is really cool, I want to show this, those always do 10 times better than the things that I overthink. Like I did that reaction video the other day. It was during stream and I just clipped that part out and put that on YouTube, and it got like 18K views. It got the most views that I've gotten on any YouTube video I've posted so far, and it took 5 minutes of editing, almost no work. So that was a huge wake-up call and a lesson for me that just putting content out there and doing something is so much better than grinding for perfection. Consistency, only cheat code. You heard it from me. If you haven't heard it before, yep. It's just taking action and being consistent. You can only compare yourself to one person, your past self. The other, don't compare. Indeed. So hard not to compare yourself to others, but everyone's journey is different. Exactly. Like you have to learn by doing it yourself too. Comparison is the thief of joy. Indeed, never grind for perfection. Oh, I always grind and stress towards perfection. Same. Yep, that's kind of why we're talking about this. Okay, so the first one, stop comparing. The second tip I had is embracing the nobodiness mentality. It's definitely a word, nobodiness. But I kind of mentioned this a little bit already, but that idea that people rarely notice beginners, it is normally that success that people recognize. So don't be afraid to mess up because you are just starting and you're just putting content out there, and that is where you are learning. And that is the biggest lesson that you can take from, is that it doesn't need to be perfect and you can just complete something. Third one is stop talking about it, just do it. Because one of the things for me too is like I'll get like performance anxiety in a way. I can't take anything seriously today. So if I say I'm going to do something like create this podcast, and then I'm like, okay, we're doing a podcast. Then I put this pressure on myself to like, I have to make this podcast and it has to be done well. And if it's not done well, I've talked about this podcast so much that everyone's going to be like, oh my God, this podcast sucked. And I get in my head and it spirals. And so rather than even starting it, I end up getting in this like analysis paralysis situation where I don't even do it. So instead of talking about it so much, stop talking, just take action, thinking about what is the most efficient way to go about whatever it is that you want to achieve. Maybe it's the baby steps, maybe it's creating a script, maybe it's starting to film, maybe it's finding somebody to help you do it, whatever it is, just starting to take action. And that kind of like leads into my last point, which is purely done is better than perfect. That is the phrase that I tell myself in my head over and over and over again. Done is better than perfect. Why? Because when you're chasing perfect, there is somebody else out there that is making progress and they're launching their projects and they're getting feedback and they're improving. And you're just like, well, it wasn't perfect, so I didn't want to start. Both in like business and life, there is literally no better teacher than just getting real world feedback and taking steps to accomplish whatever it is that you want to do. One step at a time, heading any direction is better than no direction. Indeed. John, and quality over quantity. You're amazing, overstimulated person already. Well, yes and no. I would say that typically quality over quantity, but if you're waiting for perfection over progress, like it's that idea of like it needs to be quality enough to do it. I think you should try doing it the opposite way and just getting out content and working on just getting the quantity out there. And I think the quality will come from the sheer amount of practicing it and making progress on our journey to perfection. No, just kidding. No, we're not striving for perfection. We're just striving for progress. Luna, French rapport, has a saying about doing things. Situ, I can't say that. French. I'm going to read the English version of it. Luna, thank you for the translation. If you want to be doing movies, you just need something to film. I like that a lot. Strive to be a little bit better regularly. You don't have to be perfect ever. Just a little bit better all of the time. Donuts, watching someone's progression is much more fun than watching someone who mastered the art, because watching someone who has mastered the art is only interesting once. But watching someone progress is a long process and way more entertaining. One thing that I was thinking about with this whole comparison thing is you do see these content creators that have become viral, and so now you see all their great videos. But a lot of them, if you scroll back to their first videos, they're nowhere near what they're like now, right? Like everybody has changed and progressed, and you can't compare yourself. You just have to put in your effort and create the things that bring you joy. Really short and sweet. Progress over perfection. Something that is really great to strive for. And you don't have to be perfect at it right away. You can just work on it slowly. Next month, we're already in another month, which is going to be crazy. We have different topics for every single month. So next month is going to be self-love and confidence. And so Monday is going to be the importance of self-compassion. That's what we're going to be talking about then. For those of you who don't know, we talk about a different topic every single Monday. Each month is focused on a different theme. So I appreciate those of you. I know it took us a while to get around to talking about that today, but thank you for those of you who chimed in, had some lovely thoughts, and talked about it a little bit. It means a lot. So thank you. And I'll be posting this on YouTube in case any of you guys missed it. I know it was very brief today, but I appreciate you all, and we'll chat about our next topic next week.